And this is the area that you actually go in and you scan. I missed this bit before. You scan your ticket. In these things, you put a barcode under it, and it lets you through straight away. Good technology, eh?
Like the Oyster card.
Similar to it, yeah. That's the in bit.
Right.
Yeah. There we are.
And just across here to the left, they're selling some knitwear, mainly mittens and hats and things like that. Things one could make use of today, that's for sure. So as we head out onto the peninsula, you have a view to the trading houses of the German merchants across from us. The bay here is called Bergen, and they have copied the colors of the old wooden buildings in this new market building. The ochre the ochre yellow and the red and white, as you see on the houses across from us. So from this part of the harbour, the boats bound for the fjords north of Bergen are leaving. There's also a good connection with the towns further south on the west coast, Haugesund and Stavanger. Stavanger is the fourth largest city in Norway and the center of the administration of the oil and gas industry, our most important industry at present. And it continues here on
Down there.
parallel with the street we are entering, but then only for pedestrians. It's much narrower.
Trolleybuses, I'm sure that will be in England.
So we pass the
As we
Ferry
have any
Hotel
say.
Admiral here, and there are some more middle-class hotels. The harbour authorities didn't know it was loaded with ammunition, so it was quite a disaster. We have the old fortress just across from here. The building with the green roof is the old coronation hall from the time Bergen was the capital in the country. And you're passing the new church, the first one to be built after the Reformation took place in 1537. Up to that time, Norway was a Catholic country, of course. There is a nice park out here and the aquarium we are coming past, which is interesting to visit. Not only the typical marine life of this region, but they have tropical animals, seals and penguins. A lot to see and do, especially families with children and school classes come here a lot. Some of the old typical dwellings that used to be here before the explosion one day to leave again for northern Norway in the evening. A trip with the coastal steamer takes 11 days from Bergen and back to Bergen, so 5.5 days to sail up along the coast of Norway. And what you see on the other side of the fjord arm here is a part of the city called Salmon Bay, Laksevåg in Norwegian. In former days it used to be a separate community. Now it's of course part of the city. Since 1972 the neighboring communities were added in. If you look to the left, you see a statue of the writer, female writer Amalie Skram. She wrote a lot about women's situation from the 19th century. Typical buildings up here, very colorful. The row of houses on your left here are often photographed. The area here is called Klosteret, the monastery, and In the Middle Ages there was a big monastery here. If you look down to your right in a moment, you will see a typical alleyway. The shape of a grand piano, seen from up above. And the concert hall was built in the 1970s by a Danish architect, and it carries the name of the composer Edvard Grieg. Originally it was his idea to arrange a music festival here in the city, and it takes place in the end of May, beginning of June. Since 1953 we have had this music festival regularly every year. As you can see, there's still a bit of snow. I'm sure it's been snowing up there today with only 7 centigrades down here. The biggest park in the city, the entrance here to the right. Unfortunately, a great part of this park is used by drug addicts, so it's not so pleasant to walk through there. This modern building is an high technological institute. We're driving over the old bridge, and here the fjord comes in and forms a lake on your left-hand side. There used to be a big shipyard here, down to the right, building tank ships, but since the 1970s, this is history. We still have some ship industry along the Puddefjord, that's the name of the fjord arm here, but on a smaller scale and mainly repair work and things like that. 50,000 people. And here you have the trolleybus, or the buses are driven with electricity. 4 mountains, which is bad enough. So we are taking a little detour up here to show you how people live. This is on the sunny side of the valley. You see a fairly modern church. Well, it was built in the early 1960s. The shape of a butterfly's wing. You can see it down to the left. Landos Church. Teachers Training College is situated down here, the greyish building. Bergen has always been fairly isolated from the rest of the country because of its geography, being surrounded by so many mountains. There was no proper road connection between east and west until the early 1930s. Music festival. And looking to the right, you have the statue of the founder of the theatre at the top of the hill. He's called the Nordic Paganini. He was a famous virtuoso in the 19th century. And here you have the Museum of Arts and Crafts. We get a glimpse of the Catholic Church again, up to the right. And the little Norwegian, this is a very nice place. And now we come to the old trading houses. They don't go all the way back to the Middle Ages. I mentioned briefly there was a fire in the city.
Yeah, there we are. We're now on foot off the coach, had a coach trip, and another part of Bergen, and of course the ship itself, which is I think getting rid of bad rubbish and all that, and new deliveries of food. We're leaving later, about 6 o'clock in the evening, and on our way back home. We're all at sea tomorrow, and back home Monday morning, first thing 7:30 in the morning. There we are, quite large. There's Pete, taking a couple of pictures. You forget how big it is when you're on board. Wow, bye for now.